Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. When Dianna Russini uses the word massacre, I pay attention, Perna. Yes, I originally thought Dianna said mascara in this tweet about the upcoming cuts in the NFL. Not because I'm sexist, but because I really need something to make these eyes pop. Women's makeup has been on my mind. Now, Russini teased that there are going to be some big player cuts next week as teams try and clear cap space for the start of the league year and upcoming free agency. That's probably because the salary cap is dropping down to somewhere in the $180 million range when it was originally supposed to be over $200 million before COVID hit. So get ready for some heartbreaking cuts as players we love unexpectedly get released, and buckle up for what already looked like a wild free agency period. Today, I'm going to talk about the team already making surprise cuts, the Dolphins. Deshaun Watson room? Stephon Gilmore may be dealt, the Vikings released Kyle Rudolph, and J.J. Watt gets to keep number 99. Although I don't think he should, since he nor TJ responded to my very clever Watts tweet. Those are watts being produced by my bike, and that's also their jersey number. I would have included Derek, but I don't want that desperate watt bothering me ever again. That's good sports. Hey, if you love NFL news videos delivered to you by an clown, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode is sponsored by Magic Spoon and their two brand new flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle. Now, I recently switched from afternoon to morning workouts, and a protein shake is not enough to fill me up, so I added a bowl of Morning Spoon to my post-workout meal, which is a perfect way to add a healthy food that contains 0 grams of sugar, 14 extra grams of protein, which my tiny body desperately needs, and only 4 grams of net carbs in each serving. So click the link below to get the limited edition flavors of maple waffle and my new personal favorite cookies and cream, and use my code THATSGOOD for $5 off before these flavors sell out. Or you can choose to build your own variety box with flavors like cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cinnamon, and blueberry. Magic Spoon is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Just do not try and return any cereal that you've already eaten. All right, the Dolphins, yes, surprisingly released Kyle Van Noy yesterday, just a year after signing him to a 4-year, $51 million contract. This was really shocking for some, and it might be signaling that the Dolphins are trying to clear up space for someone. Who is that someone? It could be Deshaun Watson. It could also be that they're making room for a splashy wide receiver like Allen Robinson, who's going to be asking for upwards of $25 million a year. Or it might be for a rangy safety who can play basically linebacker like Kyle Van Noy, but also cover like a safety. Kinda strange, considering they had that guy in Minkah Fitzpatrick already. They did draft tackle Austin Jackson and have a 6th rounder this year from that trade with the Steelers. So we're essentially waiting to see if Miami goes all out in free agency to build around Tua, or if this is indeed a move to make money room for Deshaun Watson. I don't think the Jets are in on Watson anymore, but I do believe Miami is. And don't forget, Deshaun Watson owns that vintage Dan Marino shirt. To me, this feels like a drastic roster move. I mean, Kyle Van Noy was not only good last year for the Dolphins, he played for Brian Flores in New England, so you can assume Flores really wanted him on his defense. And you don't get rid of high character, good players you targeted unless you have bigger plans, right? Or maybe Brian Flores just has ADD and we'll see him flip-flop like this every offseason. Now the Patriots are almost certainly attempting to trade corner Stephon Gilmore. Gilmore is on the last year of his contract, which means he's not too expensive right now, which also means any team that needs to immediately upgrade their corner position right now while in a Super Bowl window should target Gilmore. Yes, that means the Green Bay Packers, Cleveland Browns, and hell, let's even throw in the Arizona Cardinals, who are probably parting ways with Patrick Peterson. Now, Gilmore's production did drop in 2020, but I think if he gets to a good defense, he'll bounce back and be one of the 15 best corners in the league. Seattle needs help in the secondary. The Rams are probably itching to get rid of all of their draft picks, and I like the idea of him and Jalen Ramsey in the same secondary, and God forbid the Chiefs forget that Gilmore tried to give Patrick Mahomes COVID and use him to upgrade their secondary when they magically turn no cap space into all cap space. After a full decade in Minnesota, Kyle Rudolph is now officially a free agent. Like J.J. Watt, the Vikings did their longtime tight end a favor by releasing him ahead of the official free agency period. In 10 seasons, Rudolph put up over 4,000 yards, 48 touchdowns, and made 2 Pro Bowls. He also caught the touchdown that beat the Saints in overtime 2 years ago in the wild card round. Rudolph had his best season in 2016 with Sam Bradford slinging the rock. Rudolph accounted for 7 of Bradford's 20 TDs that season. There's a ton of good wide receivers to be had in free agency, but in terms of tight ends, it's really just Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith before a huge drop-off when you get to options like Gerald Everett and Jared Cook. I think Rudolph can help quite a few teams at this point. It's honestly hard to find teams where he wouldn't make a good fit. With Blake Jarwin coming off an injury, I think Rudolph would be great in Dallas. He'd be the perfect complement to Big Bob Tunyon in Green Bay, but keep an eye on the Broncos. Both Rudolph's best seasons came when Pat Shurmur was dialing up plays in Minnesota, and he could reunite with him in Denver. Now, someone asked Lions head coach Dan Campbell, who had final roster decisions with the team, and he replied that it came down to him and general manager Brad Holmes. But what if they don't agree? That was asked. According to Dan Campbell, that's resolved by this beautiful shiny nugget of beefcake wisdom.
But here's what I'd say about a true alpha. A true alpha knows when it's time to concede for the betterment of the team.
A true alpha knows when it's time to concede for the betterment of the team. Now, we don't know if that means Campbell is the alpha and he concedes to Brad Holmes, or if Holmes is the alpha who concedes to him, or if they've yet to discover who the alpha is. I would say look no further. I can't imagine Dan Campbell walking into any room and him not being the alpha. Seriously, try to come up with one name that could out-alpha Dan Campbell. The Rock? Dan Campbell was a better football player. Alpha. The President? Dan Campbell can literally lift that Amtrak train Biden rode into work on every day 3 feet off the rails. Alpha. Jeff Bezos? Campbell could survive alone in the actual Amazon for years. Alpha. Dan Campbell is so alpha, he used to bully Richie Incognito. Now, the Arizona Cardinals apparently used Frank Caliendo and Blake Shelton to persuade J.J. Watt to come to Arizona. That's a fucking weird combo of celebrity. Maybe Caliendo just pretended he was Blake Shelton and told J.J., who I'm sure loves country music, to sign with the Cardinals, and they will give him a 4-chair turn on The Voice when he retires. Now, I do hope this happens more often, though. Maybe the Bears will use Barstool Big Cat and Oprah to recruit Russell Wilson. The 49ers can call upon Sean Penn and Penn from Penn and Teller to recruit Aaron Rodgers, or the Eagles bring in adult film stars Tara Patrick and Angela White, so Big Dick Nick can just once know what sex feels like, because they could handle him. And J.J. Watt revealed on the Adam Schefter podcast that he was very close to joining the Pittsburgh Steelers and his brothers, but chose the Cardinals because he likes that they have a young, talented quarterback, but also he shared a room with his brothers his whole life and he didn't need to share a locker room with them now too. That's the thing, though, about the Steelers that we keep forgetting. Big Ben is big old and not so big good anymore. I'd bet on Kyler Murray over Roethlisberger right now, too. Watt will be able to wear the number 99 in Arizona, which was previously retired, as it previously belonged to Marshall Goldberg.
55 and 99.
Yeah. What's the number? What's going on?
I spoke to his daughter today, and she gave me permission for it, so we're good to go.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got 99 problems, but a jersey ain't one. Don't care. Look, I got a little curious about who Marshall Goldberg was, because I'd never heard of him. But he played for the Cardinals way back in the 30s and 40s. Marshall Goldberg took some time off in the middle of his career with the Cardinals to fight in World War II. Goldberg was a halfback / defensive back, because back then you used to have to play both ways. He also handled kick and punt return duties, and impressively finished with 19 interceptions. Back when I think quarterbacks only threw the ball about 19 times a season. Now, J.J. Watt needs 2 10-sack seasons in Arizona to collect about $3 million in bonuses, which sounds easy, but Watt has only had 1 10-sack plus season since 2016. And the Washington football team will now employ the first ever co-ed dance team in the NFL for game day entertainment. That's right, Dan Snyder said, "We as an organization are very excited to sexually harass both men and women equally moving forward." And finally, Jets GM Joe Douglas, possibly one of the only few GMs who could out-alpha Dan Campbell, said they'll start listening to calls on quarterback Sam Darnold. Now, Douglas didn't say they would definitely trade him, but this surely feels like the right offer will move Sam pretty quickly, and I expect the Jets to use their number 2 overall draft pick on Justin Fields or the rising Zach Wilson. Darnold will, of course, need Demi Moore and Bill Cosby or hologram Patrick Swayze to convince him to play wherever he is traded. That's a ghost joke, damn it! Bill Cosby. We should revisit that movie and see what looks weird now. Thanks for watching. That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Please. God, like, what do I gotta do? Beg for it? You want me to beg for your subscription? Oh, please. Come on, please. Pretty, please. Subscribe here. I've got nothing. Please, pretty. Oh.